Hello and welcome to the Top 100, the show where we rate every game as is correct and fully canonized in the top 100 board games of all time.
Correct.
And today we're going to be looking at Twilight Imperium. Not Twilight Imperium Prophecy of Kings. This is just a box.
This is just a box.
We'll come back to that in a little bit.
The main box wouldn't fit on the table.
It wouldn't. It would be completely destroying everything.
It would be.
It's the size of a small galaxy. Not true. But we're going to be finding out later on this episode, where does Twilight Imperium rank in the top 100 games of all time? Not just our opinions either,
No.
but actually the
True,
correct, true
factual,
opinion.
real opinions of everyone.
So wherever it is on that top 100 list, as with all the other games we're covering in this series, that's how you feel about it too.
Correct.
Yeah, it's unlike reviews where we say have your own opinion. If you like it, that's fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. This is different. This is your opinion now as well.
It's gospel.
Yes. Before we leap in to this, frankly, slightly fascistic episode, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about what this game is. Not entirely how it's played, but giving you a sense of the shape of the game, so you know what the heck we're talking about if you've never played this game. Hello and welcome to my very brief explanation of what is Twilight Imperium and how does it play. I'm not going to teach you all the rules because I'm not your dad, and that would be bad. Not me being your dad being bad, it would be bad if I tried to teach you all the rules. Let's jump in. Broadly speaking, it's a game about making spaceships, moving around a galaxy. This is just a small version of a real board, and trying to dominate things, but in a way that gets you points. This looks a bit like a big old war game, but in reality, Twilight Imperium is a game of being political, conniving, and just being in the right place at the right time so you can secure the points and then leave. I didn't really want to fight, I just needed to do an objective. Now in the first round of the game, there's only going to be one objective that you can all try and get. Everyone can complete an objective once, but as the game goes on, there's more and more on the table and they start to be worth more points, ensuring that the game doesn't go on forever, because this is a big, big, long game. These objectives are going to cause you to have some friction with your neighbors, perhaps asking you to specifically go and hold weird planets that happen to be near to them, or they're going to want you to do odd things playing in the systems of the game. Do lots of research, build up a big army in one place, win a fight under very specific conditions. These objectives might encourage you to move through space in a way that appears more aggressive than you want to. They might ask you to go and have a little scrap with someone. You don't want to do that either. They might just want you to min-max into one of the systems, and there are a lot of systems in this game. Because gosh, this is just a fragment of a full game board. It is a big old galaxy of opportunities. Without the framework of these victory points and things that you want to go towards, it could end up just being a big, long, bitter scrap and not a lot of fun. Everything that you do in this game, however, is dictated by these funky little action card chit things. There are 8 of them in the game in total, and at the start of each round, you're going to draft for them. And then at some point during the round, you're going to activate the one that you've chosen, take its primary ability, and everyone else can optionally do its secondary ability. Now, these basically allow you to do everything, but without them, you can't do much. So maybe I'll snag technology, which allows me to research technologies on the cheap. Other people can do it too, but it costs money. And looking through the rest of these cards, you basically find all of the systems that put this entirely ridiculous lasagna together. Each of these planets has a card that gets you both resources and influence, which is a resource that's used in the politics phase of the game, which is only unlocked when someone takes Mechatol Rex, this giant, big, important planet in the middle of the galaxy. There are a whole bunch of different alien races, each with their own unique powers and slightly different starting setups. And you can see there's a massive shop here of different types of ships and units that you can build. Then you've got research. Each player has an almost identical deck of these cards, allowing them to upgrade their units or just get brand new technologies that allow them to do weird things around the board. And of course, you've got a healthy chunk of action cards to add a bit of unknown and spice. Every player has their own little distribution of tokens that let them decide how many different kind of actions they want to take on a turn, how big their fleet can be, how many extras they can buy, and then you've got trade goods and commodities, something that allows you to flip stuff over with other players to get your economies going. Every dribbling, glazed part of this fantastic dessert / cocktail is detailed rich and very fiddly rules wise. But fundamentally, this is a game that looks like it's just about wars, but it's much more about strategy, planning, and maintaining relationships. Each player even gets their own little tiny deck of promissory notes, things that they can give to other players which are concrete, this is a deal, this deal cannot be broken. hard on paper, but there's also a lot of fuzziness of making more gentle deals. A really key aspect of how this game all comes together is the fact that these tiles that you all draft in most variants of the game, a lot of these are not available each round. People don't pick them, which means you might have a dearth of the ability to go to war or no technology because no one's picking it. I mean, that'll never happen, but it could happen. The malleability of this game on a round-by-round basis combined with the weirdness of the different aliens and powers. And then as mentioned, when you do finally get to Mechatol Rex and unlock the ability to do politics, you have a whole new phase of the game where you vote on different planetary laws. In many regards, this is what it looks like. Yes, it is a detailed kind of simulation full of these little different systems, all of which you can dig into and all of which are quite deep. And they become even deeper when you want them to and you add in the game's expansions. But fundamentally, on top of all of this, whilst all of this is true, it's also a game where you do go to war and you roll a bunch of dice. And because they're dice, it could all go horribly, horribly wrong. And that's games. That's Twilight Imperium.
And of these small, puny, pathetic games, we're finally tackling a big one.
I know, right?
A real one.
And this might be a chunkier episode than the previous ones in the fact that, you know, we did Azul recently. Azul's great, but we had this conversation yesterday. Whenever you're talking about an abstract game, it's difficult as a critic to get beyond explaining what the rules are, saying, "Ooh, don't the pieces look nice?"
Ooh.
And then going, It's good.
It's
whereas there's a lot to talk about here. There's a lot to get into.
Probably too much to talk about.
Probably too much. And so what we are going to be talking about the expansions a bit later on.
A little bit.
Prophecy of Kings and the new one, Thunder's Edge. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of other things. So strap yourself in. First of all, Twilight Imperium. It's clearly a very good game.
Yeah.
And a very important game to both of us.
Yes.
And to a lot of people out there.
It's foundational for me, I think. I always say that it's one of the games that kind of got me into board games. I pitched it to my group of friends at university. I said, hey, do you want to spend a whole day playing a game about moving spaceships around?
Eventually,
Yes.
you found some people who didn't say no.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you found friends.
Woohoo!
My specialty is trading. Do you accept checks?
Oh my god, I can't believe you're doing
Accept
this.
checks, right?
It's been like around in my collection for bloody ages, even though I've played it maybe like once every 3 years,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well,
That's what's weird about putting it in this list, right?
Well, yeah, I know, it's true. And I mean, also, like, I played 3rd edition first, as I think you might have done as well.
Yes.
And so, for us, I think both of us, we have Twilight Imperium 4th edition now. But it's almost because we didn't have the previous version and we want to have a version of it
We
somewhere.
want to have something somewhere. Yeah.
Even if you don't play it all the time, it's important to have it.
Yeah, just so that you can sort of break glass in case of TI at any time. You've
Yeah.
got it on deck.
Now, 4th edition, we really enjoyed, and obviously with slight bias in the fact that we did track the progress of Twilight Imperium 4th edition. We made a little documentary.
You saw how the sausage was made.
We did a little bit, got a sense of like the history of the game and what they were doing for the 4th edition, and a lot of people didn't really gel with the base version of 4th edition as much as
really?
we did.
Wow.
Well, I think I really enjoyed what they tried to do in terms of trimming the game down, because the 3rd version with
It got
all the
real
expansions-
sprawly, didn't it?
Like you were
Yeah.
asking earlier, they're like, "Oh, could you do the thing where you kidnap leaders?" I'm like, "No." There was exploration and lots of different mechanics, which basically had bloated it, but also it meant it was unclear what the game was anymore. Like, you know, if you were sitting down to play a game of it, that gristle of like, well, what are we adding, what aren't we adding, kind of almost got in the way of playing the game.
Right,
From the
okay.
perspective of the designers,
What
anyway.
particular version of TI are we sitting down to today, right?
So with TI4, they tried to trim it down to something where you go, this is the game. There's no modules, there's no variants, this is the game.
it's definitive.
I like that. However, lots of people felt that it didn't quite work, and there were elements where things were maybe unbalanced,
Yeah.
and they felt like a lot of that stuff was fixed in the Prophecy of Kings expansion. We'll come back to that in a little bit. But broadly speaking, I think 4th edition is just a wonderful box that you can just crack open
Anytime, any day.
anytime.
And just get rolling.
Just crack it open before breakfast for a quick little game. It's a beautiful, sprawling experience that I think is definitive. I say that with a question mark. Is there anything else like this? Really?
What, like Twilight Imperium?
Because there is.
Yes.
I know what it is.
There's multiple games like TI.
This is true.
But are they quite the same?
And that's it. And I know that like Eclipse has a lot of fondness in people. That's a little bit more Euro-y from what I gather. I must admit I've never played
No,
Eclipse.
neither. And that's kind of something that we should probably do for this
I know,
list.
right? But the problem is I know lots of people who got Eclipse being like, this is great, I'm going to play this instead of TI. But then they say, oh, I've got this and Eclipse, and I don't really play Eclipse.
Well, they're different experiences. I think that Eclipse is trying to kind of condense a TI-like experience into a game that takes like half a day rather than a full day. Whereas
really,
TI luxuriates.
half a day is a day.
Right,
you know?
exactly. Practically. $5 is $8.
It's the difference between I'm getting the bus home and I'm getting like the night bus home or a taxi.
Right.
It's at that point, it doesn't really make a huge difference when you've invested that amount of time.
But I do think they're going for slightly different experiences. Like TI kind of luxuriates in the fact that it takes all of this time to play. Like it is kind of by design quite glacial,
Yes.
I think. Whereas Eclipse is like get into the action more immediately. And I think it's more concerned with like nitty gritty details. This is having not played it. We should play it.
We should. I think it's just whenever there's a gap in the calendar where I'm like, oh, I might play Eclipse, I will play this
TI instead.
And I think
Very
it's funny
reasonable.
because I think a lot of the appeal of Eclipse especially was the organisation of it and the way that you could just have these little trays and you can just
go
get going.
plump.
Whereas I think that's interesting, and I was kind of mildly horrified to see your setup here.
Yeah.
So the reason you've got Prophecy of Kings here instead of the main box is because you got rid of the main box.
Yeah.
And put the whole
Put it
game
all in here.
there, which I respect as a matter of like function.
It's a lot of stuff in this box.
You've just crammed it full.
Yeah, and
I
I
do like that you've got bags that have been labelled yellow player.
Some unlabeled, because these are all the faction tokens, but for like 3 or 4 different factions.
Yeah.
So when I'm playing the game, I just throw someone a bag and say, pick one of these.
Which actually
works
like,
great.
it's chaotic, but I think really works. It's unusually chaotic for you, Tom, I've got to be honest.
Everyone gets their own little dexterity puzzle as they have to sort out all of their components with all the other junk in each bag.
Whereas myself and most of the other people I know who have TI and love
most of
TI,
the people watching this, I imagine.
yeah, have like painstakingly gone away and made some organisational system within the box.
Well, it's because I only play it like once every 3 or 4 years.
Oh, it's same for me, but I think there's something about it. Like I've got these little metal tins, and each tin has a different faction.
Oh my God.
And actually, I've done a thing. Maybe at some point, I want to finish the project because I had the idea of like almost doing like black and white style FBI stickers, as if like it was like Area 51. Like so each race has a box with their name and a fuzzy picture on it, as if it's
so
like
dweeby.
It's super dweeby.
But I love it.
But then I even did a thing because I didn't really like Prophecy of Kings, where like
burned
I
it.
had it,
Sorry.
but I hid it all in a separate box inside the box. So it's like I don't want to get rid of it, but all the bits I didn't want
They're just siloed in their own
were
little
like hidden
zone.
in a hidden like compartment because I didn't have it in me to get rid of it,
Right.
but I didn't want to see it.
Okay, that
Which
makes sense.
I think now, like before we get into the expansions,
Yeah.
there's I want to talk a little bit about the ways that people play this game. This is a unique game in the fact that I think that it is beloved by a lot of people.
Yes.
But I feel like people love it for different reasons.
Yeah, they have different ideas of what TI kind of entails. There's some people who think of it as a super competitive experience, and there are like hours and hours of one particular podcast that would kind of prove that to be true for those people. But for us, it's always kind of been like faintly beer and pretzels-y, right?
Yeah.
Despite the fact that this sheet has like more text on it than maybe the entire rulebook of some games.
Yeah.
It's like for us, it's almost like quasi role-playing.
I mean,
in a
that's it.
strange
And I mean,
sense.
like, Space Cats, Peace Turtles, the podcast.
Check them out.
I feel like they are like the DMZ, and the fact that I don't think they would agree with the way that we tend to approach this game of being a bit more vibes and fun and silliness. But
they understand
But
it.
they understand it, and they don't hate us for it, right?
Usually when we play this sort of thing, me and Quinn's always fight loads, and we're both really tired, and we don't want to do that.
Little fighters, go pew 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 pew.
We're going to pretend that we were actually going to fight, but then not, which is slightly mean.
I'll happily trade both of you.
Excellent.
I see no reason to be friendly with our new guests in the universe.
Brotherhood display.
There is a lot of vitriol sometimes in terms of people being like, this is how it should be played. And especially that came about when I reviewed this expansion. And I wasn't a big fan of Prophecy of Kings. And the fact that I can see the ways that it balances out things that are imperfect and makes the game more rounded from the perspective of people playing it like competitively and seriously. But for me, it added too much stuff to the point where I couldn't really remember enough of what's going on. And that's a strange criticism, because I do think that the reason that TI is a really good kind of beer and pretzels day-long silly game is because you forget things.
Yeah, sure.
And it is because you develop this network of technology, and then you realize that last turn, oh, I could have used that technology and that would have helped with this. But rather than being like, can I retcon that? It's like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But that's the game, you know?
Almost the fact that it has like too many rules kind of means that it quasi-represents this like struggle to maintain an empire.
Yes.
Like the fact that you have too much stuff on the board, like sprawl becomes a problem for players that have like
100%.
ballooned outwards, and that's how it should be, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, you know, there's a video game called Stellaris, which is I can't play anymore because it's too addictive.
It is.
But it does a really interesting job of the way that it doesn't allow you to micromanage. It means that you get to a point where it's like, okay, now your empire is this big, which means rather than controlling 8 planets, you control like 3 quadrants or whatever.
Yeah, and you just issue orders to the whole sector.
Because it's giving you an idea of empire, of being like, well, yeah, you can't, like, it's not possible. Where this does that in a similar way, of like, if you are sprawling all over the place, and you have got all of this stuff going on, then you're going to miss something.
There's a natural punishment, which then means that like savvy players can spot the fact that you've sprawled out too much. They're not thinking about that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and have it.
Or like, you know, you're chatting to someone and having a little drink and some beverages while someone makes a massive army next to your border, and you just don't notice until 2 turns later, and you go, what the heck is going on over there? And you suddenly have beef with an ally.
We got a thing here, because I kind of want that. Could you not take that?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm only going here to take Mechatol Rex.
That's my man.
I mean, that was a Freudian slip. To qualify for the public objective, which is control some systems near it. Then you can have it.
Why don't you go here?
The black hole. Well,
It's just wonderful little moments like that that I think brings the game to life. And for us, playing it in our like early 20s, for both of us, I guess, different timelines, was about going and having like secretive chats in the kitchen with people and saying, I think this person's going to be a problem. What are we going to do about this?
So what were you two doing in the diary room together?
I went to the bathroom.
And having those moments of like alliances, but obviously going to have betrayals as well, because you are constantly sharing borders with everybody in a way that means you don't want to get into fights.
Yes. Yeah, fighting is bad, turns out, in this game.
Like, it's a game where you feel like you're fighting because, as you say, you have this whole shopping in front of you of all the different types of units you can buy, all these ships.
Yeah.
But fighting is bad because you're rolling dice, and then fundamentally, when you roll the dice, things
Might not go your way.
are very dice-based. And that's why it kind of blows my mind that like lots of people do like to play this in such a
Competitive and toothy manner.
rigid, like toothy, this is correct, this isn't correct manner. This is worth this many trade goods, etc. This is worth that, and like you should do this in this instant. Where I think like a lot of the fun for me comes from that fuzziness and that kind of gentle fear of realizing you've maybe pushed out too far and you're surrounded by allies that maybe you can't trust anymore.
Yeah.
And what should you do about
It's
that?
the fact that you can kind of bust out of all that like mathing out and like working out your board and doing your whole tech tree and all that stuff. You can kind of break free of all of those rules by just doing diplomacy very well.
Exactly. Or you can just be like, I'm sorry, but this person seems like they're being a bit of a knob.
Come
so
on,
I'm going to come and help
get
you
'em.
in a way that people would be like, well, why are you doing that? You're risking your own points and own ships and stuff. I'm like, just because galactically speaking, it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing for all of us.
And that is the way I play it. And I feel like that big disconnect between me not playing the game enough to want more complexity, because the game for me fundamentally has to be slightly unknowable, has to be slightly more than I can grasp in my head. Otherwise, it stops being this weird social experience and becomes a very granular,
That's interesting.
tactical experience.
Because I found with the sort of like the bloat of Prophecy of Kings, not bloat, because it did like refine in some ways, but it did add more stuff to the game.
One man's trash is another man's treasure,
Right, and I really enjoy, like, I think that there are parts of it that I feel like I really resonate with because they lean into that role-playing space, and some of it doesn't. Like, these little mech units, I felt like I kind of understand the basic set of units, I don't really use them, they're here, and maybe some people are screaming because they're really important, but for me, they're just wee guys.
Yeah.
But, on the other hand, the leaders, I felt like were really like impactful little bits of story that were happening during the game, and they were my favorite thing in TI3. It was like, that's the thing that I remember when I think about TI, is like having this like huge galaxy map with all this crazy battles going on, but I'm launching a plot to just go and steal their leader away, and then ransom them for trade goods. And like, that's the kind of stuff that I really got into and suckered me into TI. And that stuff's kind of added by Prophecy of Kings, but I can see the argument that it also kind of takes away as well.
Well, I found it's funny, like having like a leader, having my agents and heroes and commanders, and then forgetting about them, and forgetting about what they do, and then forgetting to do something. I felt that was upsetting. Whereas like if I've got like, you know, hyperdrive +4, that's not a thing in the game. Don't come at me. But I've got some nebulous tech that I've upgraded, and I forget about it and go, oh, I could have got more things last turn. But that's because I've got like I'm so far in the game that I've got loads of tech. I don't care, because I'm like, it's like a rich man complaining they dropped a £1 coin. It's like, come on, buddy. But having these cool characters and then realizing that I haven't been using them, or I forgot to do something last turn that would have been cool, it's kind of upsetting in a way that, like, I think as well in Prophecy of Kings, the way that you had things like, you know, adding back exploration and the idea of like finding artifacts on planets, the whole thing became very fuzzy. It became much harder to work out what was going on, who was winning, or what you had to do. For me. Now, what's fascinating to me about the new expansion, Thunder's Edge, is that it feels like something that I don't understand why the people who love Prophecy of Kings love Thunder's Edge.
Because?
Because Thunder's Edge feels like it's more for me again. And I'm really glad to see that the reception for Thunder's Edge seems to be really good across the board. Now, I'm not going to do a review of Thunder's Edge, and that's why we're going to talk about it a little bit here, because I don't want to.
You spent too many hours talking about Twilight Imperium.
Yes, and also I feel like I would have to play Twilight Imperium with Thunder's Edge a number of times, which is going to be very time-consuming.
It's just not realistic.
Very difficult, very not realistic at all when you are, you know, a man in his early 40s and trying to get 5 or 6 people together frequently for days and days. And also, I just feel like I can't win with it, right? I understand how I feel about the game. It doesn't always align that much with the community, and making a review of that expansion would be a Sisyphean task, which would be thankless. No one would want it, okay? So I've played it once, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit what I think of it based on that once.
Pray tell.
The new factions are fun, and overall I think the stuff it adds is fun.
Okay,
now there's
like frothy.
Yeah, there's some silliness in it, right? And I think that, like, yes, you've still got like leaders and stuff and all that stuff, and it's still on the edge of being a bit too much. But one of the new things it adds, which I'm just delighted by, is a planet, Thunder's Edge. And you can try and find this planet. By at the end of your turn, there's like a little rondel, and you can choose to spend a resource. I mean, I'm gonna spend five of this, I'm gonna spend 2 of that, put one of your tokens there, and then you get to unlock your new magic research card. Each faction has a new tech that they get from specifically going and having a breakthrough on this.
Going and chilling out on the rondel.
And it allows you to like treat all of your red tech as yellow tech.
Okay.
Or all of your yellow tech as red tech.
Right.
Basically, it explodes tech out.
So you can path through the tech tree in different ways.
Yes. It means you get to the end game tech way more quickly.
Right.
Which in some ways, it feels silly, but also it's quite nice actually getting to play with War Suns and some
rather
of the
than
big
just
stuff.
being a deterrent, essentially,
Yeah,
or something that you're trying to get everyone to stop them from building.
Or something that you get at the end of the game because you're like, I don't know,
I've got spare cash.
I've got all the stuff, I might as well do it. It allows you to play with the tech toys a lot more. But more importantly, when you fill out all of these 6 slots, a planet appears. Thunder's Edge.
Thunder's Edge itself.
It's a big old planet. It's a good planet to have control of, and the person who did the most work on the breakthrough gets control of it. But you just add a massive planet to an area, and it just replaces what's there. As far as I can tell. I think it's just like, boom, this is now this planet.
Bam.
Fun. But the thing that I really like is that every time you do one of these breakthroughs, you roll a d10, and if you get a 1 or a 10, then it opens up a rift into a new mini galaxy that we didn't see happen, but just the risk of it.
Yeah,
there's
right.
like a 20% chance that suddenly you go bang, you add a new bit of map to the edge of the map, which is populated with neutral armies and neutral ships, and new resources and
PvE
stuff.
game?
And again, it's just so silly. And that for me is like, that's TI.
Yeah,
the fact that you can roll a dice and everything's gone tremendously sideways. And so for me, it has some silly elements in it, which I really enjoyed. But I was just surprised because I felt like I can't quite get my head around that ability to be like, okay, yes, this is a serious game with all these moving parts and it's balanced, but also I might roll a 1 and
And a
die.
new galaxy appears.
A good example is like the black holes. When you're moving through a black hole, when you're moving out,
Yeah.
you roll a dice and there's a chance that the ships just disappear into the black hole. Like, I play with the kinds of people who will just move huge armies through black holes, which I don't suspect is a common occurrence.
Right, okay.
Because just it's too funny not to try it.
It's funny.
So I'm kind of conflicted, and the fact the new expansion I think adds a lot of stuff. It seems a lot more fun than Prophecy of Kings. I think that the general consensus is that both of them together, great.
Yeah.
I think the base game and maybe a bit of that.
Just a little bit of
Thunder's Edge.
Is it modular or
it's
is it
more modular? Yeah, it's not like,
Oh.
and that was the issue I had with Prophecy of Kings. Was it like all or nothing? Like this just changes the game.
like a 1.5?
And yeah, and I liked it. But I think more concerning than that is I'm realizing that for all of my, I hope it doesn't come across as ragging, but when I'm saying I don't understand people playing this in a more mechanical way,
Yeah.
I realise that I've played this game too much now and I'm at risk of becoming one of these people.
Right. You're going out the other end of TI where you're looking at the meta.
Yeah, well, I feel like I and again, it might be an age thing, but now I'm like, when you are meeting up with a bunch of men in their early 40s to play a day-long game of that you've all played many, many times.
You'll want to win.
I played a great game of 5 people a few weeks ago when we tried Thunder's Edge.
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed to say that at no point did I go for a chat in the kitchen with anybody.
Oh. It's happened, Matt. It's happened.
And yeah, and also I was pretty abreast of everything and
You were playing your board, you weren't playing the table.
I knew what the tech did.
Oh.
And that's fine. But I just think that maybe that's the curse that I have to carry now, is the fact that I have both angered the community of people who are very nitty-gritty with the rules and don't agree with how I like to play TI. But
you're also becoming one.
I'm becoming one of them. It's a bit like, the Fallout dweller goes back to the thing. It's like, no, you changed. You're not welcome here anymore.
Right.
And I have to just go and live in the wasteland with lovely viewers forever. So I think that, I don't know how you feel about having TI and your collection, but I feel like it's almost becoming a game like Cosmic Encounter or Skull, a game where like, maybe I'm not really going to be a person who plays it anymore.
Right. Because
like-
you're worried about...
More like Werewolf actually, or something like
Yeah.
that, where I'm not really interested in social deduction games anymore. I love them, I've had my time with them, but maybe I'm coming to a point of, I've had my time with them.
Maybe the solution though is just to become the tour guide. You just show it to lots of new groups and then you sort of artificially bonk yourself on the head somewhere at the start of the game. Because that'll give you the zest of showing it to people.
Or just kidnap a bunch of people,
Or
force
also
them
do
to
that.
play it,
Yeah, that's
and I
also
won't
true.
play. I'll just like just be around like a worm tongue talking to 6 people at once.
That's not a bad idea.
That's a great idea.
You could definitely
All right,
do
well,
that.
after this, we'll go out and we'll kidnap the first person we see
6 of them, actually.
6 times.
6 strangers.
What a beautiful day it's going to be. But before that, there's some stuff we have to deal with before we go into the
The
discussion,
definitive ranking session.
ranking of the game.
Your opinion is about to be decided.
Now, those of you who watched the documentary that I made many, many years ago about Twilight Imperium might remember that the artist who did the box art for the main versions of 3 and 4, we discussed with him about his process of how to do the aliens and how to revamp them, and we talked about him wanting to imbue characters and like into the different species, and we asked him if it was possible to make the turtles sexy
Oh.
and how to make a sexy turtle.
Okay.
Now he took this
That's a good question.
as an idea of having like a lady turtle maybe. We didn't.
You wanted hunky turtles.
I mean, I didn't say that. Like that's. I just want to be clear. Like he was like, oh, interesting, a sexy lady turtle. I was like, no, I just said sexy. I just said sexy. To be clear. So I think that before we go into the ranking of this game, I would like to confer with you as an expert in this field to determine the exact rankings of the sexiness of each of the species.
Let's go.
In the game.
Let's do it.
And so there we have it. That's the sexiness ratings of all of the different factions in Twilight Imperium.
What happened to the board?
I smashed it away. We're not going to show you the full version of that determination. Some little snippets of the process here. Hiss, marry, kill.
AI slop again.
The
sadly.
necrovirus? You're not going to marry the necrovirus?
I'm not going to marry the neck. Oh, a
Think
plant.
of all the technology you could get by eating people together.
I don't want to marry a plant, Matt.
How are you going to kiss it, plant, then?
It's got a long little tongue going on.
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
kind of nice.
All
I'll
right,
kiss
all
that,
right,
and then I'll
okay.
marry the
Marry the
human-looking
Mentax. All
people.
right.
Volraith Cabal look literally like an evil dinosaur, so I'm... Oh, but then...
But the Empyrean look like sex genitals. Sex genitals gone wrong. I think the Embers of Muat.
They
I
don't
think they've
kiss.
got some like maternal, like cuddly vibes there.
Oh, they do. They're warm and they're
They've got,
hot.
like, a-
Doesn't matter, I've kissed them.
Okay, you've kissed them now. That's
They're in the
fine.
kiss pile.
Hey, that's fine.
Don't really yuck my yums.
Little sexy, hot kiss. I'm a lion, and I'd
Great.
be lying if I said that I didn't think you were very attractive. They're all trying to come onto you as well. just
Right,
so you
okay,
know.
yeah.
I can read your minds, and you're a filthy, filthy little boy. Thomas, they can read minds. The Yisrael tribes. They'll take care of you. I've got loads of friends.
We'll take care of you. Damn,
Okay,
that's
fantastic.
really sexy.
So, what we're going to do now is a classic British traditional format called Blind Date.
Oh.
This is Tom. He's blind. Behind door number 1. Do you hear, flesh thing? The harmonies and golems of metal and noise and fire have deafened you to us.
I think I know who you are.
Oh, no peeking. Now, do you have a general question you'd like to ask any of these people?
Where they would take me on my blind date.
Oh, on a blind date. Number 1, where would you take Tom on a galactic blind date? To the center of a sun. And if you'd like to watch the entirety of the process of us working out exactly which of these factions are sexy and which aren't, then you can watch that as a bonus bit if you're a subscriber to Shoves It Down, or you just ask us very nicely for a link to the video. So with that out the way, now we know which the factions are sexy and which aren't. We should probably rank Twilight Imperium.
Let's do it.
On the big board.
Let's rank it.
Is that the
God, that
ranking?
went so much further than I thought. We're ready to rank. Got a little stuck at the bottom.
It's fine. We've all called our dress on things
So
from time to time.
high
This
tech.
is the definitive list we have so far. Obviously,
All of these are your opinions.
yeah. Even if you have a friend who tapped out of one of these videos earlier, if you've even watched a split second
Just
of
a tiny
any of
bit.
these series, then these are your opinions.
what
now.
you think.
We can't. We don't make the rules. It's just how the curse works.
Well, we do make the rules.
No.
And we are enforcing them.
Yeah, that's it. But there was a witch involved. So we got at the top, El Dorado and Ra are obviously overlapping one another, for those who haven't seen early ones. Agricola is in a pretty top spot. I feel like that's the discussion point that we really struggle with whenever we ask ourselves the big question, but is it better or more important than Agricola?
Than a game that kind of created the worker placement genre as a whole and Euro games in general. Yeah.
I kind of can't remember how El Dorado and Ra got up there.
They're just more fun.
But yeah, they did. Yeah, fun is the trump that keeps on trumping.
It is.
And then obviously the Azulaverse over here with all the Azuls. So, Twilight Imperium. Now, I feel like this is one of those games where it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be up quite high because I think it's telling that when we were tasked with talking about Twilight Imperium for this top 100 video segment, we barely talked about what you actually do in the game.
Yes.
We just talked about all of our feelings around it in a meta sense. We kind of had the oh yeah, of course the game is good, of course it's fun, as a precursor to all the rest of our discussion, and then we just rambled about how much we like it on a very gritty, granular level.
I mean, I can't remember his name, but that actor who was in the Hunger Games and other things who talked about Twilight Imperium briefly on an American talk show. I feel like something this obviously strange and nerdy has to be a certain level of incredible for you to willingly kind of just do that.
Yeah.
And not just tell your friends, oh yeah, I spend days at a time playing this thing, but to tell the
whole world.
Be like, this is what I care about, this is what I'm into.
Yep.
And I would as well. And actually, I think part of the joy of sitting around a table and playing TI is that feeling of community and that feeling that you've found people in your life.
Weird people
who
like
are
you.
all willing to do this, right? It's not just like, yeah, I'll play a board game. It's like, look at us.
Yeah.
We are willingly spending an entire chunk of our weekend to just do this together.
I think this could be pretty high on the list.
I think it is.
I don't know, I'm really struggling as to whether it's right at the top, because it's a very shut up and sit down game to have quite high on the list, I think. I think it has a lot of what we value in games, which is emergent storytelling. Not to say, because everyone's always shut up and sit down, hates every Euro game ever made. We bloody love them. We love doing maths, big style. We love spreadsheets.
Make my brain hurt. I love it.
Do it. But I think that what comes to us in terms of what we like to cover and what we really champion in games, it's stuff that kind of elicits more big feelings in people, right?
I feel like, yes, and I feel like that's the thing, is that we have a tricky part when we're recommending games and reviewing games, right? Because trying to review and recommend Twilight Imperium, this isn't a game for everyone.
No.
This isn't a game that we can be like, hey, just go and buy this, you'll have a great time. But I do think it is one of the greatest things
It
in
was
the hobby.
It was one of the games that we did when we did a segment on the podcast of games you should play, like games that you should try at least once, just because you might have the best time ever. I think this was on there, right?
I think it's
it must have
right
been
up
on
there. This is one of those games like Cosmic Encounter that even if I never play it again, I will never get rid of my copy.
Yeah, and the thing that's so hard about it though, right? Like, because I think it's up here, it's in this top segment.
I think so as well.
And I think the problem that we're running into is how do you rank a game that you play once every like multiple years over something like El Dorado, which you could conceivably get out, or even Ra
I've played TI.
every week? You crack it out at the pub?
I haven't played it much over the past few years, but I've played it at least once or twice a year.
Okay.
And a few years ago, I was playing it like 3 or 4 times a year.
Wow.
Which in terms of like the length of sessions, in terms of like how
That's
long...
many hours
it's
devoted
like
to this
possibly
game.
more than I played any other individual game.
It's just tricky because it's like El Dorado and Ra are at the top, I think, because they're so universal and they're such crowd pleasers and they're just so immediately engaging and enjoyable. And putting Twilight Imperium right at the top, that's quite scary.
It is scary, but I feel like I kind of want to do it.
I kind of want to do it too.
I'm going to do it.
Let's do it.
I'm doing it.
Oh my god. It's
I'm
going
doing
at the
it.
top.
It's underneath the curtain now a little bit.
It's so high.
It's in
hidden.
the naughty zone.
I think that's reasonable as a pick that's like an us pick. I don't think it's necessarily like, is it the most elegant, streamlined, beautiful bit of design? No, not at all. But like, does it create a lot of love for the hobby in and of itself? Yeah. I think there's something about, like, when we talk about like gateway games, like things like El Dorado or Ra or whatever, it's like you want those games to have a little bit of pizzazz and a little bit of wow factor to them.
Yeah.
There are a lot of gateway games that come out and they're just like, you show them to people and they go, oh, that was nice. That's kind of what I expected a board game to be. Twilight Imperium, no one's coming away with an expected feeling. There's nothing like it. It's so unique.
There's nothing like it.
I'm happy with it there.
I'm happy with that as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never thought.
Rules be damned.
There we go.
Rules be damned.
Thanks for watching,
Thanks
everybody.
for watching the Top 100. We'll see you next time.
Bye.